Mics are not muted.
I put my name. Yes. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you, Hare
See everybody. My name, yes.
Hare
No, I put my name. I pressed the wrong thing here. I never knew.
What you did?
The video. The video. No video.
Who is this too?
No.
Oh. I got that dot.
Yeah.
You asked me what you did.
No, it's working. You see, the one place they say, do you want video or no video?
No.
So I press the wrong thing.
You got no video.
Yeah, so my picture won't come.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Why can't I hear? You can mute
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my much.
I'm very happy to see all of you. As if I have been transported to South Africa.
Hare
So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tell me how all of you are doing.
I'm fine.
Struggling here, Guru Maharaj.
So, Pravanu, thank you for arranging this Zoom conference.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. You had been thinking of, making some sort of program so that I could meet all of you again. Thank you very much. And so I'm so happy to see all of you. Jagadananda, how are you doing?
Unmute. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Ashri, how is your health?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. So, yeah, I can see all of you. Yeah, Abhijay, I can see you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. And Braja Kumari, thank you so much for all your help. Braja Kumari has been helping me. I'm working on some writing, and she had been helping. She was in South Africa, and she was very helpful. Maybe, actually at that time I was, well, I don't know whether it will happen as a reality, especially now the world is in such a situation. I was thinking of making a movie.
Okay.
This movie was beyond Sri Chaitanya. And, anyway, so we are working quite seriously about it. And the story outline has been made. And I came back to India and started to work on that. And then this coronavirus happened. And it seems that the world will turn, quite upside down now. It has already gone into a tangent. And who knows what will happen. Hare Krishna, Hare Namananda, how are you? Happy to see you. Hare Krishna. Bhagavati, I can see you also partially because you are not so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. So, Hare Bol. Krishna Charan.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
You're also partially visible.
Okay, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. You got everybody in front of the screen.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol. And Hare Bol. And I can see Shashimukhi.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Guru Maharaj.
Who is there next to you? You disappeared from the screen. So, yes, how are you doing? I got the request from yeah, Hare Krishna. Anyway, I'm so happy to see all of you.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. I'm calling from Qatar. Mahadev.
Who is that? You can see Harishchandra.
Yeah. Another sir.
I don't think I was this
Hari and Anuradha. Hare Krishna. So, how is everybody doing in your confinement? Really, this lockdown has done something good, right? Has brought us into becoming more serious about our Krishna consciousness. And so, well, I am giving a kind of a class every day on Uddhav Gita. Are you all attending that, or?
Yes.
How many?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yes. How many of you are attending that? Anyway, maybe we can discuss. Yeah, we can discuss about that a little bit. Like, why did I select Uddhav Gita? Uddhav Gita was spoken by Krishna in a similar kind of situation. Or maybe you can say in an even more critical situation. Because you see, like it was spoken at the time, was about to withdraw his pastimes from this planet. And Brahma came along with the demigods and told Krishna that the mission, the purpose that we asked you to come has been accomplished. The demons have been killed, the dharma has been re-established, and so now you can go back to your spiritual abode. And so before returning to the spiritual sky, Krishna considered to send the Jadus back to the spiritual sky before. He didn't want the Jadus to stay on even after his departure from this planet. So also there are various reasons for that. And one main reason, one apparent reason Krishna mentioned there was that the Jadus are so powerful that nobody will be able to control them. He was able to control them, but when he left, then no one would be able to control them. So better to send them back. That's one apparent reason. But of course, the main reason is the Jadus came to assist him in his pastimes. And now that he is withdrawing his pastimes, Jadus should be sent back to the spiritual sky. And then it happened in a very, he made the arrangement in a very dramatic way. Krishna made that arrangement in a dramatic way. Like some of the Jadu boys they were kind of having some sort of picnic or so. And there they came across some sages, very, very exalted sages, like Vishwamitra, Vasishtha, Narad, Durvasha. They're very exalted, very powerful personalities. But they're Jadus, Jadu boys. So kind of, they thought that let's have some fun with these sages. So they dressed up Samba as a pregnant woman and took him to the sages and told that we heard that you know the time in these three aspects, past, present, and future. So can you please tell us whether this lady here will give birth to a girl or a boy? So the sages told that he'll give birth to an iron club that will be the cause of the destruction of your whole family. So really worried, they ran to King Ugrasen and narrated the whole incident. So in consultation with others, Ugrasen decided that let us destroy this iron club. And they took the club on the bank of the ocean and started to rub it on a stone. And by rubbing it, gradually, they pulverized it. And the last piece that was just a thin little piece that was left, they threw it in the ocean. Now, this pulverized particles of that iron club settled on the bank of the ocean and gave rise to a seaweed that looks like bamboos, small bamboos, but their seaweeds are kind of hollow inside anyway. And that piece of iron that they threw in the ocean, a fish swallowed it, and one fisherman caught the fish and he found, when he cut the fish, he found that piece of iron. So he sold it in the marketplace, and a hunter called Jara bought that piece, and he made it into a bow. I'm sorry, he made it into an arrow. And so in the meantime, all kinds of inauspicious signs started to show in Dwarka. And so Krishna told the Jadus, he called them one day, one evening, and they said, Krishna told them that all this curse has been cast upon us by the sages. So it's going to naturally have some ominous effect. And already all kinds of inauspicious signs started to display. So let's vacate Dwarka and let's go to Prabhash. And so when Krishna made that arrangement, then Uddhav could understand that now Krishna is going to withdraw his pastimes. So he requested Krishna that Krishna, please let me also go with you when you go back to the spiritual world. But Krishna suggested that Uddhav stayed back a little longer. And Krishna actually had a purpose behind, like Krishna gave his association to many saintly personalities during his earthly pastimes. But there are many others who did not receive his association. So Krishna wanted that Uddhav actually should fulfill their desire by going to them. And that's why Krishna wanted Uddhav to continue to stay for a little longer. And Krishna told Uddhav that in 7 days' time, on the 7th day, Dwarka will disappear. The Dwarka will sink in the ocean. Now you can well imagine what the situation like at that time. Like for Uddhav, all his family members are going to die. His city, where he had been living for so many years, is just going to be destroyed totally. So you can well imagine, like compared to that situation, the situation that we are facing is nothing. That situation is so terrible. So that's why we can imagine like what state of mind Uddhav was at that time. And at that time, Krishna is giving him the advice, instruction. And how do we face the times of difficulties like that? How do we face difficult situations like that? The only way we can face such difficulties with proper knowledge. And that knowledge is the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, or we can say wisdom, the spiritual wisdom of Krishna consciousness. And that is recognize the difference between our situation here and our ultimate goal. The situation that we are in is a situation that has been created due to our rejection of Krishna. We all have fallen into this material nature because we became averse to Krishna. We decided to stop serving Krishna. And enjoy ourselves like Krishna. Krishna is the center of everything, and we want it to be the center of everything. Krishna is the supreme controller. We want it to be the supreme controller. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. We want it to become the supreme enjoyer. And Krishna is fulfilling our desires. We have fallen in this material nature where we are getting this opportunity. We all have the opportunity, we are getting an opportunity to become miniature Krishnas, little Krishnas, minute Krishnas. In this material nature, everyone is thinking that he is the center of everything. Everyone, even an ant is thinking that he is this whole creation is meant for his enjoyment. He is meant to control everything and enjoy everything. And that is the meaning of the conditioned state of our existence. It is created by Krishna's illusory energy. Illusory energy is working because in reality it is not possible. We can never become the controller. We can never become the enjoyer. We can never become the center of everything. We are not the enjoyer. We are actually enjoyed. We are not the Lord and Masters. We are the servants. But our role has changed. And that is the state of our conditioned existence. And this is created by the illusory energy of the Lord. The illusory energies make us feel that we can enjoy, we can control, and that is Maya. Maya actually means illusion. So, and in this illusion state, what is happening? We are trying to enjoy. But while we are trying to enjoy, what do we end up? We end up suffering. And this is happening, this world, this material nature is functioning with a divine arrangement of Krishna called karma and guna. Karma, a living entity has the freedom to act the way he wants for his enjoyment. But those actions are creating reactions. And those reactions are taking place in different modes, 3 modes of material nature. This is Krishna's mode, material nature's mode. Material nature has been endowed with these modes. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And as we act accordingly, we are getting the reactions. And we are subjected to those reactions. And that is what is causing what we are getting. Nothing is happening by chance or accident. Nothing is happening by chance and accident. Everything is a result of our own karmic reactions according to the modes of nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. Ahankara vimuratma kartahamiti mannate. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. In this prakriti, in this nature, everything is happening by this arrangement of guna and karma. But ahankara vimuratma, being bewildered by a false ego. Kartahamiti mannate. We are considering, we are thinking that we are the doers. And the result is sometimes suffering, sometimes enjoyment. It's a state of, actually, it's a state of continuous suffering. Our existence in the material nature is a state of continuous suffering. But when this suffering is reduced, we call it happiness. So happiness and distress. Enjoyment and suffering, sukha and dukkha, happiness and misery. So that is the state of our existence. And sometimes we experience some happiness, but that's short lasting. Then happiness disappears, distress comes. Sometimes we experience the distress individually, and sometimes we experience the distress collectively. What we are experiencing now is the distress we are experiencing collectively. Practically everyone in this world is subjected to this condition. We are suffering. But the thing is, there may be some collective suffering, and this collective suffering can come in so many ways. Now it came in the form of this epidemic or pandemic. There can be suffering in war. At least I would say that this condition is Krishna's mercy, actually. It came in not such a distressful way. Can you imagine what would have happened if there was a third world war? We can't even imagine what would have happened. And the thing is that it is inevitable. It was inevitable. What's happening today is inevitable. Like people are committing sinful activities in such a way for so long. And how can we expect that there's not going to be any reaction? And especially meat eating. We are seeing the result of meat eating today. Everyone practically, every thoughtful person is realizing that this meat eating is bad, and all these terrible diseases come in the form of epidemic because of meat eating. All these diseases are result of meat eating. And they're blaming China for it, but actually they are not realizing that everyone is actually responsible for this. Because they're, in China, they may be eating all kinds of terrible stuff. They call it exotic meat. Bat, rat, snake, monkey, name anything, and they're indulging in that eating. But everyone practically in this world, not everyone, most of the people are meat eaters today. Every day, millions of cows are being slaughtered worldwide. And how can we expect that there won't be any reaction? So the reaction is coming, and it's time that everyone wakes up and realize what is the cause of all these happenings. Give up meat eating. And the other consideration is that all these diseases are coming from meat, whereas not a single disease comes from vegetable. Not a single disease comes from vegetable. So that shows the human food is vegetable. And there is such abundance of food. Why eat meat? Anyway, I'm sure all of you are aware of all this. The point is that as long as we are in the material nature, we have to suffer. But if we act in the right way, pious way, then the suffering condition won't be so drastic. But if we act in a sinful way, then the suffering condition will be terrible. So that is how we have to actually now turn towards Krishna. That's what we have already done. All of us here have committed to Krishna, have accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, have recognized that our only business is to serve Krishna, because we all are servants of Krishna. So theoretically, we have understood all that. Now, let us seriously start to practice it. And the practice is very simple. Instead of putting me in the center, put Krishna in the center. That's about all. We don't have to change anything. We can continue doing whatever we are doing. Only thing is that we have to put Krishna in the center. That's the meaning of being Krishna conscious. There are only 2 points where our consciousness can be projected. Either me or Krishna. When I project my consciousness to my me, that is my body, as me, then we are in the material nature. When we put our consciousness to Krishna, then it's spiritual world. When I put my consciousness in me, then I'm subjected to incredible suffering. When I put my consciousness to Krishna, then we become eligible for inconceivable joy, inconceivable enjoyment. So, such a simple option that Krishna has given us. Sthane stitva shrutigatan. Sthane stitva, wherever we are situated, whatever we are doing, just remaining there. We don't have to change our situation. But we simply have to tanubang manobhi, with our body, our mind, and our words, then simply have to serve Krishna. Utilize our facilities, physical abilities, mental abilities, and speech for the sake of serving Krishna and glorifying Krishna. So I just wanted to point out that because Uddhav was in such a difficult situation, Krishna imparted the knowledge to him in the form of Uddhav Gita. So now today that we all are in this difficult situation, I think this topic was quite appropriate. And I will request the purpose, as I tell you time and time again, that through these classes and all, we simply try to give you an overview and generate some interest in you to read. So please read Uddhav Gita, contemplate on that. Read Bhagavad Gita, read Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is the beginning. As Prabhupada said, our preliminary study is Bhagavad Gita. And our advanced study is Srimad Bhagavatam. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, out of 12th canto, 11th canto is the Uddhav Gita. So you can well imagine the importance of Uddhav Gita. It's a very, very important chapter. So please take advantage of this confinement. Now you literally have 24 hours a day for your spiritual cultivation. So take advantage of that. And I'm sure you all are doing that because so many devotees are giving lectures and classes, and there are so many sessions are going. And so I'm sure you all are taking full advantage of that. Thank you, Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? So, Prabhanu, since you are monitoring, maybe. Anyway, I think everybody can hear. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Okay, you can raise your hand if you have a question. Typical South Africa.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
I have a question. It's
Oh,
Praladini.
yeah, okay. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj. Thank you for this. I really appreciate it. I'd like to know now, I mean, when do we read the Uddhava Gita? So should we read it after reading Bhagavatam or after reading CC? Because I heard like we must read Bhagavad Gita first and then Bhagavatam, then CC, and then any other books. When would you recommend us to read it?
Well, you know, like we need to read Bhagavad Gita first in order to have the right understanding who Krishna is. Because there's we are prone to, we are susceptible. People are susceptible to take that Krishna is an ordinary person. Krishna looks like us, therefore Krishna may be like one of us, right? Therefore, it's important to recognize Krishna's identity as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because in Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in the 3rd canto, Krishna's pastimes with the residents of Vrindavan are so intimate that unless and until one has the clear understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is a possibility of committing offense, imitating Krishna's activities. But I presume all of you have read Bhagavad Gita, all of you have understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yes, now you can safely enter into Uddhava Gita also.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Huh? Oh, Haribol. Sahadev, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I'm dialing in from Qatar, in the Middle East.
Yeah, right. How is it? How is everything there?
Guru Maharaj, we are continuing every day with online classes.
There also is lockdown, yeah?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we're under lockdown.
How bad is the pandemic there?
We have now maybe almost 3,000 people who are suffering with coronavirus.
3,000, that's quite a,
yeah.
For a small place like that.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, the numbers have increased because, you know, we are quite a large airline like Qatar Airways, and a lot of crew as well were affected because the airline is still continuing for transit passengers. So, you know, they come into Qatar, so, you know, as a result, pandemic seems to be not fully contained.
Oh. Yeah, so what's
it? We are, yes, so I just wanted to tell you that we are, as you advised, we are continuing here in Qatar with, you know, online classes like 6 times a week. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We have maybe about 40 different programs ongoing now online in Qatar itself. Yes, Guru. Thank you. So I just want to take a darshan, so Hare Krishna.
So, did you have a question?
No, Guru Maharaj, you saw me on, so I just also wanted to just say Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes.
I'd like to ask a question. Maharaj, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Maharaj, you were saying that the pushback that Mother Nature is giving in the form of these diseases is due to meat eating. So in our preaching, should we emphasize that meat eating is very bad, or should we just continue to share knowledge about Krishna? Which is better?
Well, you know, like speak to them that in a language that they'll understand. At a time like this, you know, they will recognize, you know, like not only us, many other people are actually saying, even the medically or scientifically, they're saying that all these diseases are coming from meat eating. Even in China, they have stopped exotic meat sale. like selling off monkey and donkey and bats and rats and snakes and spiders. So, but at least they're realizing that it's caused by all these terrible food habits. And in America, at least, or especially in the West, especially in America, I would say, many people are turning into vegans. They're realizing the ills of meat eating. So, yes, the point is, yes, why not? Like, because if we tell them about Krishna right now, those who are, receptive, you can speak to them about Krishna. But to the people in general at a time like this, we can take a cue from that. Like all these diseases are coming from meat eating. And not only just, exotic meats like bats and, snakes, but even, worst kind of meat is actually cow's meat to eat. They don't realize, like how sinful it is and how terrible will be the reaction for that. And why eat meat? Like there is so much, so much food stuff for human being in abundance. There are so many vegetables, so many grains, so many fruits, so many nuts. So what's the what's the need of eating all that stuff? Does it answer your question, Shamananda? So next is, anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question?
Yeah. Very
Ram Vijay, do you have a question or?
Not currently, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, it was showing you. Okay then, everyone, be good and take care of yourself and take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Hare Krishna.